Should we go ahead and start, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Hey Krishna, are you able to hear me? Hare Krishna?
Hare
Hello?
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, were you able to hear me or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So somehow I got a screen where it was saying tap to speak. So I just want to make sure. So you were able, invocation prayers you were able to hear, right, Mataji?
I just joined Prabhuji, so.
Okay, that's okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for joining for today's Bhagavatam reading in the morning. So actually today Satarupa Mataji was supposed to read, but it is our unfortunate she was busy. So I took this service. So we'll read. Okay, today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 18th chapter, text 3. And this canto, as you know, it is about the battle between Lord Bor and the demon Hiranya. Hiranyaksha. So we are reading the third text. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ahainam eha ajnana mahim vimunchano रसौकासां विश्वश्रेज्याम् अर्पिता न स्वस्ति यस्यास्य अनान्य ममेक्षातः सुराधमा साधिता सुकारकृते. Once again, अहैनाम् एह अज्ञानमहिं विमुञ्चनो रसौकासां विश्वसृजेयाम् अर्पिता न स्वस्ति यास्यास्य अनन्या ममेक्षतः सुराधमा साधित सुकारकृते. So word by word meaning synonyms. Aha, Hiranyaksha said, enam to the Lord, yehi, come and fight. Agnya, O fool, Mahim, the earth, Vimuncha, give up, Naha, to us, Rasa, Okasam, of the inhabitants of the lower regions, Vishwasraja, by the neck creator of the universe, Iyam, this earth, Arpita, entrusted, Na, not, Swasti, well-being, Yasyasi, you will go, Anaya, with this, Mama Ikshastha, Ikshastha, while I am seeing, Sura Adamha, O lowest of the demigods, Asadhita, having taken, Sukara Akrite, the form of boar. Translation. The demon addressed the Lord, O best of the demigods, dressed in the form of a boar, just hear me. This earth is entrusted to us, the inhabitants of the lower regions, and you cannot take it from my presence and not be hurt by me. It is very interesting sloka and also very interesting purport by our Guru Parampara. So let me read the purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Sridhara Swami, commenting on this verse, states that although the demon wanted to deride the personality of the Godhead in the form of a boar, actually he worshipped him in several words. For example, he addressed him as Vana Gocharaha, which means one who is a resident of the forest. But another meaning of Vanagochara is one who lies on the water. Vishnu lies on the water. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be properly addressed in this way. The demon also addressed him as Mrigha, indicating unintentionally the Supreme Personality is sought after by great sages, saintly persons, and transcendentalists. He also addressed him as Agnya. Sridhara Swami says that Jnana means knowledge, and there is no knowledge which is unknown to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indirectly, therefore, the demon said that Vishnu knows everything. The demon addressed him as Suradhama. Sura means the demigods, and Adhama means the Lord of all there is. Here he is Lord of all demigods. Therefore, he is the best of all demigods or God. When the demon used the phrase in my presence, the implied meaning was in spite of my presence, you are completely able to take away the earth. Na swasti yasyasi, unless you kindly take this earth from our custody, there can be no good fortune for us. There can be no good fortune for us. So it is a very interesting purport. When I first read yesterday, it struck me very nice. I was first in this particular verse, if you just read only the verse and the translation, and particularly I would say even just read the words, you will get a totally different understanding. But however, when you deep dive into the translation given by Srila Prabhupada and purport, especially Srila Prabhupada here gives the commentary by Sridhara Swami, one of our Acharya, totally a different understanding we get. So let's little bit dive into that. So here, Hiranyaksha, we all know that Hiranyaksha is none other than the Lord's devotee. But he was cursed by, you all know, by four Kumaras when they were not allowed to visit the Lord. So the Jaya and Vijaya, when the Kumaras were in the Vaikunta, they wanted to see the Lord. They thought these small boys, and then they ignored. They didn't know that they are realized souls. Anyhow, they cursed, and basically, even the Lord want to enacted this pastime. He want to exhibit his anger, Raudra, that character he wanted to exhibit, and as a result, the whole pastimes we see. So, in this is the first incarnation, or sorry, first how they come as Hiranyaksha. So, and here Hiranyaksha is um, in the translation, if we see, he's basically saying, "Oh Lord, this earth is entrusted to us. Why you are coming and taking?" So, coming to the aspect of how once we just read the meaning, the sloka, we get a totally different understanding. But when we read the purports, the totally is a different thing. So, here, one interesting, the first, there are five places, the total twist is there. So, the first one being, here, Vana Gocharaha. So here Vana Gochara, Vana means forest. Gochara means the animal that is living or moving in the forest. And so the Sanskrit is such a beautiful language. It has multiple meanings. So here Sridhara Swami says that may be the common understanding, but there is another meaning which means the living being in the water, the one who lies on the water. So, as we know, who is the one lies on the water? That is Lord Vishnu. So, Sridhara Swami is saying, even unknowingly and unconsciously, the demon is praising the Supreme Lord. So, that is a very beautiful way the Sridhara Swami is projecting that one. See, probably it is my understanding the way Sridhara Swami is more attracting or bringing us the devotee side of the demon. because they are in their past life, they are the devotees. So unknowingly also, they are praising the Supreme Lord. That is the only thing I think which attracts me. So the next one is Mrugaha. He says, yeah, the one is Ajnana. So Ajnana. So generally, Jnana means knowledge. Ajnana means opposite to that one. But whereas here, Sridhar Swami beautifully says that Jnana means knowledge, and in fact, the demon is saying that you are the knower of the everything. The Supreme Personality of Godhead obviously is the knower of the everything. Then another word he uses, one second, another word he uses, I'm just, Suradhama. So, but if you strictly go by the word Suradhama, Sura plus Adhama. Sura means demigods. Adhama means the lowest. So, if very interesting thing, it attracted me that if you look at in the word by word meaning, where Prabhupada translates it as, just going back to the word by word meaning, Suradhama, O lowest of demigods. Because that is the Sura plus Adhama, means Sura, the demigods and the lowest. But whereas, interestingly, if you observe in the translation, he says in starting itself, O best of the demigods. So that is what the Sridhar Swami is also iterating here. Very interesting purport and very interesting translation also. So obviously this brings one point for me is a practical point is sometimes the Vedic knowledge, mostly everything is in form of slokas and everything. So when we read only that sloka, we may limit our understanding to that sloka only. That is the reason it is always recommended by acharyas for us that you should also focus, give as good as importance as the text, the sloka, the purport also, because now, if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, there are so many translations of Bhagavad Gita, but yet Srila Prabhupada has named his translation as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, if you take Bhagavad Gita slokas or any translation by Srila Prabhupada, if we confine to that particular sloka, then it totally gives a different meaning. But our acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada, so compassionate that understanding the nature of the jivas and understanding our shortcomings, and moreover, understanding the time that we have. We don't have ample time. We don't have unlimited time. So he said, even if you read one sloka in his translation, you will understand the essence. That is the beauty. Because this is a always I used to think why if you look at Bhagavad Gita, where even in Karma Kanda Prabhupada brings a devotional service. And everywhere the highlight is devotional service. But when you talk to the other people, they say, why Prabhupada is bringing this topic here? That is the mood of the a compassionate person. Here, this when I read this sloka, it perfectly hit me because the meaning when you read this sloka, it is gives me totally different meaning or understanding. But when you read the translation and when you read the purport, it gives you a complete other picture. So that is the beauty of the Srila Prabhupada. In every sloka, in every translation, he brings a central theme because even though you don't have time, if you read that one sloka, you get the essence. That is the beauty. Because Prabhupada is very practical person. That is the reason he gives that essence. See, that is where the classic difference of reading Bhagavad Gita by other authors versus a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. is completely different. Even you pick the first sloka of the Bhagavad Gita, you will get the essence. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada wanted reiterate. One aspect is the jivas, whether they don't have time or not, they need to understand this essence, grasp it. And the second thing is repeated. Anything you repeat, you will, what happens? It becomes our nature. Isn't it? There is a saying that suppose if you want to change your food habits, what you have to do? You have to have that little faith and then little determination. You keep on eating the same thing for 21 days. It is said that you're then you will adopt that whatever the change you want. Why? Because, and a scientific explanation is every 21 days or whatever that number of days, the cells on the tongue will change. So once the new cells come, they are easily adapt to that the new food habit, whatever you want to nurture. Similarly, the whole our spiritual progress is hinged on one aspect, and that is only sadhana. So this repeated our practice will help us to nurture and to get to excel this spiritual practice. So that is what exactly one aspect for me to take from this particular sloka, in particular the purport, how they are totally different in the way it is Prabhupada giving us. Okay, now the that is one aspect. The second thing is the point here, another point struck me is the demon is unconsciously glorifying from the point of Sridhara Swami. Because when you straight away look at the sloka, it's not glorification. But Sridhara Swami, understanding the whole past of the demon, is portraying that is unconsciously glorifying the Supreme Lord. So here is very important, right? Now coming to our practice, the only thing and everything that what we recommended is chanting of the Supreme Lord. So for this age, as you all know that in Padma Purana, it is said that Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. So in this age, what is the essence? You have to, chanting is the easiest and that is what is recommended. We are not suggested to perform any elaborate yajnas or any elaborate deity worship or anything. Simply use your tongue for glorification of the Supreme Lord, and simply use your hearing the glories of the Supreme Lord. And what is the best mantra? Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And it is said Maha Mantra. Mantra means Manaha Trayate iti mantraha. That one sound vibration which attracts the mind. That is mantra. And then this is Maha Mantra. This is the father of all mantras. So that is what we were given. And simply chanting that one will be delivered. Now, Prabhupada, if you look at, I was looking at the this Abhay Charan. It's a beautiful uh, series by given. I mean, it was what do you call enacted in the form of a serial. I still remember around 2007. That's when I kind of little bit more curiously listening and everything. That was a serial for us every day. Almost every day we used to see. So there is one thing it struck me that Srila Prabhupada um, so beautifully. I mean, I will recommend all of you. I mean, those who are not, who haven't seen, or especially the newcomers to our movement. This is a beautiful series where they can know the mood and the conscious and the compassionate of the Srila Prabhupada. So that's a beautiful series. So here I recommend. So there is one in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, it emphasizes the importance of chanting. And also, I'll read that it's Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 1, 14th sloka. Because in this context, I thought it's appropriate. Apannaha samsmritam ghoram yan nama vishwaso granam tata sadhyo vimuchyate yad bibheti swayam bhayam. The translation: living beings who are entangled in the complicated meshes of birth and death can be freed immediately by even unconscious chanting the holy name of Krishna, which is feared by fear personified. Very beautiful sloka. People like Mandamati, like me, is a big relief because the Srimad Bhagavatam is saying that even unconsciously, if you chant, you will be benefited. You will be even Krishna mercy will be bestowed on you. It says further, even the fear, it is chanting of the whole name, by that even feared by the fear personified. Yamaraj also will not touch you. That is the word of the Srimad Bhagavatam. See, if I am saying, you can say, okay, Prabhu doesn't know nothing, so you can ignore me. But Srimad Bhagavatam is saying in the first canto, first chapter, 14th sloka is clear demonstration of saying that unconsciously. Now, we may be bewildered, right? Well, this sloka is saying like that. What about our 10 offenses? We read every day during chanting the 10 offenses we should avoid. Where it says clearly, unattentive chanting is not recommended. He says it's an offense against the holy name. So how do we take a totally diagonally quite opposite statements? So here we have to understand. See, the Lord understand Jiva's conditioning. So, and then some other times our acharyas also gives various instructions at various places. So here the way we have to take, Bhagavatam clearly says that unconscious chanting also delivers. So that means, just imagine when unconsciously when we are chanting, that itself has so much benefit, unimaginable, that we receive the Krishna's mercy. Then what to speak of when we chant with attentiveness, with consciousness? That is then you cannot imagine what benefit it has. So the way we have to understand is, see, when we unconsciously chanting, the Lord, based on truly, let's say, the other day I went through surgery. That day, literally, I was not even in a mood to chant. That's a practical limitation. That is, as a conditioned soul, I have that. But whereas the realized souls, if you look at the realized souls, like Srila Prabhupada, this incident I remember in one of the lectures, somebody quoting that one time Srila Prabhupada had, he was just in conversation with his disciples in a room, and then Prabhupada was having the oranges, and oranges has these seeds, right? So Prabhupada was he's taking the pulp, and whenever seed comes, he was just without taking with hand, he was just with mouth, he was just throwing into the nearest. There was a near him. There was a this dustbin. He was just spitting into that directly, and they were expertly like a how an expert basketball player throws the ball into the hoop. Similarly, Prabhupada was just spitting in directly into that. Some devotees were very amused how Prabhupada expertly doing that one. And it so happened that time Prabhupada, one of the teeth broke, and then he was without any tinge of strain or stress on his face. He was just spitted the teeth into the dustbin. How See, if a person like me, I would say, oh boy, it's paining and whatnot. Lord goes because I am bodily conditioned. Because any ailment with body will have a huge impact on my sadhana, my conscious. Because my conscious always it looks, but what is here? This sloka relieves me. Unconscious chanting. Okay, you are that day your body is paining, but constantly by hearing, by doing this kind of listening, we think, okay, maybe today I'm not able to chant perfectly, but let me give a good try. So, sitting on the bed, sleeping on the bed, I tried my best. But another way to also, I think, say when we do unconscious chanting, the Paramatma in us will inspire us and give us the determination to come to the platform of conscious chanting. So by hook or crook, we chant. That is the essence what Srila Prabhupada telling us. Yes, don't worry, Baba. Yes, see now in the beginning we tell everybody, right? Okay, it doesn't matter however you chant. Gradually the person is in the movement, constantly is attending the Sangha, different programs, then he will be introduced to the higher things. Okay, the 10 offenses of holy name. Nobody, as a preacher, we don't tell the first time when the person is coming to the movement, we don't give the 10 offenses to them. No, it's not. The person is not able to withstand that one. How? We are all parents, right? The children, we feed them according to their development. As age progresses, we give different types of foods. In the beginning, you give pure liquid because they cannot digest. They cannot take the hard food. They have to be given that kind of food. Similarly, when a newcomer comes, we say unconsciously also chant Baba. It doesn't matter wherever you want chant Baba, but at least make an attempt of chanting the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you chant it. Then gradually after a year when he comes, then you will introduce. Well, now you understood the importance. Now it is the time for you to get more benefit. What is that? 10 offenses. Don't do this. Attentively chant. Okay, fix your timing. Go through your life schedule, check out, and then you do that. So that is how. That is what the spirit here. Now, next, the another thing is we all hear this Ajamila story, right? See, whatever we said, that is more philosophical. Okay, unconsciously you can chant and all. Ajamila story is a good example for us how Ajamila in his because he was actually, if you look at the whole, I don't know if they have time, but okay, so it over 6. I will try to wrap up quickly. So Ajamila story, I don't want to go through whole story, it takes time. So Ajamila, he was so attracted to the prostitute, and then in whole his life he was doing all spiritual activities. But at the time of their death, he was just calling his son Narayana. See, look at that. Even when Ajamila, of course, because of his previous birth, he was inspired to keep his son name as Narayana. And at the time of the death, he was so very, compassionate, or very, he loves his son. He was calling him Narayana, Narayana. But then at that time, obviously based on his life activities, Yamadutas came, and then the same time Vishnudutas came. There's a beautiful conversation between them, because obviously based on his activities he should be going to the hell, but he uttered Narayana, and then the moment he uttered Narayana, then the Vishnudutas came. So there's a beautiful conversation which you should read. But what is the essence here? Even though he is unconsciously uttered the Narayana's name, the Vishnudutas came to take him. Look at that. This is a practical and a very famous story we all hear. This is a quite good demonstration that even unconsciously, if we do take the Lord's name, we are delivered. Okay. And then I just want to bring it to your attention in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the nectar of devotion, there is a beautiful sloka. Yena tena prakarena manaha Krishna nivesayet. Yena tena prakarena manaha Krishna nivasayet. Sarve vidhi nisheda syur etor eva kinkaraha. So just translation. If one takes to the line of activities Krishna conscious, the, then all regulations will follow as a servant follows the master. If the master starts, the servant follows. Similarly, the rules and regulation will follow automatically. So, in a simple sense, it is saying that once you take the chanting, all other rules and regulations they will follow. So, the master here is chanting the name of the holy name, and then all the sub servants are like rules and regulations will automatically follow, so we don't need to worry anything. Okay, so the last one, in the interest of being working day, I will conclude. See, now often we say we should not pray for this and that. In simplest terms, I would say go to the Supreme Lord, establish personal relationship, whatever you want, just ask him. Just ask him. Don't think, can I ask the Supreme Lord? No, he's our Supreme Lord. Just ask him. How? Dhruva Maharaj, he went to ask Supreme Lord what? A kingdom bigger than his father. But when he saw the Supreme Lord, he was thinking, he said, what Lord, I was looking for these broken pieces of glass, like the bigger kingdom and all that. But when I saw you, what else I want? There is nothing I want. So here from Dhruva Maharaj pastime, what I understand is it doesn't matter. We are living jivas, we go through so many problems. Whatever mundane thing you want, just go and ask the Supreme Lord. He will give the intelligence for us what to ask, right? So, what in the moral of all this summary for me today is unconscious chanting or unconscious glorification of the Supreme Lord also has tremendous benefit. So start with that, and eventually we reach the platform of consciously glorifying the Supreme Lord. So I'll just leave here. So in the interest of time, and if you have any discussion points or any questions, you can uh, share/ask. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, and have a nice Krishna conscious working day. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.